The striking similarity between Christ and Kṛṣṇa. The Christmas story about the birth of Jesus Christ is famous all over the world. The Gospels are telling us how Joseph and Mary traveled to Bethlehem shortly before the birth of Christ. They were poor and suffered many hardships, culminating in having to stay and give birth in a stable. After the birth, the Holy Family had to flee to Egypt as the newborn's life was threatened by the cruel king Herod. Afraid of the prophecy that he would lose his throne to new king of the Jews, Herod was desperately trying to kill all newborn male children under 2 in the village of Bethlehem. In the case of Kṛṣṇa, the king in question was not Herod, but Kṛṣṇa. As the Srimad Bhagavatam says, after the wedding of Krishna's parents, as Devaki and Vasudeva were being driven home by Devaki's brother, King Kamsa, a prophetic unembodied voice announced that the 8th child of his sister would kill him. Cruel King Kamsa drew his sword to kill his own newly married sister, but his new brother-in-law, Vasudeva, convinced him that he would deliver all his offspring to him as they were born. Vasudeva was known for keeping his word, as were most people in those days, 5,000 years ago, and Kamsa refrained from his heinous deed for the time being. Later on, just to be on the safe side, Kamsa threw the couple into the dungeon for several years and killed each child as they were born. So, just like Herod, Kamsa too committed the crime of infanticide. But all his plans failed because Lord Kṛṣṇa appeared to Devaki and her husband in his 4-armed form of Vishnu, as Devaki's 8th child. The inconceivable mystic potency of Kṛṣṇa made all the shackles and locks on the prison doors come open and the guards to fall asleep, allowing Vasudeva to escape from jail and bring newborn Lord Kṛṣṇa to safety. Even after Kṛṣṇa was taken elsewhere, Kamsa sent his numerous terrible demoniac creatures to kill the child, but all of them were destroyed by Kṛṣṇa one after another from the time he was an infant. Kṛṣṇa is always the supremely powerful God, even in his infant stage. Similarly, the infant Jesus was also saved from the wrath of cruel Emperor Herod. Mary and Joseph were warned by means of an angel, urging them to flee with the child to Egypt. The resemblance of the lives of Christ and Kṛṣṇa doesn't end here. Both grew up among simple people and continued to have special bonds to simple folk throughout their lives. Jesus recruited his disciples from fishermen, while Kṛṣṇa grew up among cowherds in the small village of Braja. During all of Kṛṣṇa's life, Radha, a gopi or cowherd girl, was to be the woman close to his heart. Both Christ and Kṛṣṇa were seen as embodiment of love, peace, and understanding. Both performed miracles of various kinds. The founder of the International Society for Kṛṣṇa Consciousness, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, once remarked, quote, "When an Indian person calls on Kṛṣṇa, he often says, Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is a Sanskrit word meaning attraction. So when we address God as Christ, Kṛṣṇa, or Kṛṣṇa, we indicate the same all-attractive, supreme personality of Godhead," end quote. All religious scriptures recommend calling on the name of the Lord. The Bible says in Matthew 18:20, quote, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them," end quote. Vaishnavas, or Hindus, classify Jesus as a, quote, Shakti Avesha avatar, end quote. Shakti means power. Avesha means endowed. Avatar means one who descends from the spiritual realm, incarnation. So, a Shaktivesha avatar means a spiritual person who is empowered by God to do a specific task. The Vedas and all the saints since time immemorial, beginning trillions of years ago from the engineer of this particular universe, the demigod Brahma, declared Kṛṣṇa to be the supreme Godhead, the cause of all causes, from whom all other avatars come. Such avatars periodically come to earth whenever and wherever there is decline in religious principles, to restore those principles and to please his devotees. The message is the same. Jesus said to surrender to and obey the Father. And Kṛṣṇa says, quote, I am the seed-giving Father, end quote, Bhagavad Gita 4:14, and, quote, surrender unto me, end quote. Bhagavad Gita 1866.